All right, we are live with another Quick Tip Tuesday, each and every Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Today's topic is the 2022 housing market. 2022 housing market. I got a lot of these questions on what's going to happen in 2022. Is it going to be as hot as 2021, the previous years? What's going on with rates? What's going on with inflation? What's going on with a lot of stuff? What's going to happen this year? Everyone doesn't have a crystal ball. We can only go with what information is provided. Number one, rates. Rates have been going up. Rates continue to go up. And the Feds is anticipating a rate hike, which is in March, which is next month. So whatever you qualified before, that will change and continue to change as rates continue to go up. So you're going to be chasing rates. We're going to continue to chase the prices to go up. So if you were thinking of buying maybe next year, later down the year, maybe revisit that or revisit your pre-approval to see exactly what you qualify for now. Because as rates go up, your payment goes up and your debt to income ratio is impacted. So if your debt to income ratio is impacted, you qualify for less. So let's say you qualify for 300,000 with a 2.5% rate. I don't know the exact number, but you may qualify for 275 with a 3.0 or 3.25 rate. So that plays a big role. So definitely refresh your pre-approvals. Make sure you still qualify for that original amount. If it was 3 months ago, 6 months ago, things can change even from 1 month ago. So rates continue to go up, and that will impact your pre-approval. Another one, inflation. If you notice, everything that you paid for before, or maybe a couple months ago, a year ago, everything is going up. If you're going out, you notice your prices of food's going up. Everything is going up. So as rates goes up, inflation goes up. As inflation goes up, rates can tend typically to go up as well. So definitely keep an eye on that, because that plays a big role as well. Uh, inventory. We still don't have enough inventory for the demand. So builders, from my conversation with builders, they can't build fast enough to take care of the demand. As you can see, we have the land. We're not getting any more land. We're dealing with what we have. Our population continues to increase. So think about that. We have a fixed amount of land. Our population continues to increase on a year-to-date basis, daily basis, month-to-month basis. But we don't have enough. We don't have enough land. They're not making any more, so they're gonna continue to try to keep up with the demand, with the increased population, increased people of home ownership. But they're not building fast enough. It's pretty much impossible because it doesn't. Pretty much impossible. So definitely keep that in mind. So the demand's gonna continue to happen with the population increase. And if there's not enough supply in the market, and that's going to continue to bring the prices up. Let's see. So with the prices going up, with the rates going up, so people that used to qualify for a certain bracket, certain areas may not qualify no more. So they may have to go to a lower price area. So it's a possibility that some of those higher price areas may be less competition, depending. Maybe people putting more money down to qualify, but if not, or add a borrower, a lot of people add borrowers to qualify. But if they're not, they're gonna have to go to another area and compromise, or maybe a multifamily, or different scenarios for them to get into home ownership. So you can probably see an increase in demand in those maybe urban areas or lower price points, or people are now willing to expand their criteria. They'll go a little further. They'll add a second person, get a multifamily to get into that home ownership. So you're probably going to see that this year with the rates continuing to go up, and people are going to get outbidded and try to expand what they're looking for. So they'll probably compromise on certain things. You may see that more this year. Rents continue to go up. So in a lot of markets I've seen, rents it's cheaper to own than to rent, with the rents increasing as well. So with the inflation increasing, rents increasing, it's gonna probably push more people to home ownership, depending on the area, because in certain areas, not all, it's cheaper to buy than to rent. Typically, depending on where you're coming from, what area you're coming from, you're typically gonna pay more in mortgage than in rent. But if you're coming from a high price area, then your mortgage may be lower. So think about lease and financing. When you're leasing a car, payments are typically lower, but when you're going for the finance, payments are typically higher. I see a few questions. Let me take a pause. What is better in your opinion, a multi or single family home? If you're going for your first home, definitely go multifamily. You're able to create passive income. You're able to create different tax benefits in the multifamily. But of course, landlord isn't for everyone. If you're not a people person, or if you're not familiar, or everything, you're fearful of everything, might not be the route for you. But if you're able to overcome that fear, then definitely multifamily is the way to go. See another questions. What if some has filed for bankruptcy 2 years ago and want to get a loan? So with FHA guidelines, if I'm not mistaken, depending on the chapter, 7 or 13, I believe is 2 years after settlement date or 3 years after settlement date. But a quick Google search, you're able to actually find that out. So just take your settlement date of your bankruptcy, do a quick Google search if it's chapter 7, chapter 13, and see how long you have to wait. I believe it may be 2 years depending on your circumstances, if you have a good enough reason. But for sure, 3 years you're fine, but you may be fine with 2 years. Reach out to me and I can point you in the right direction for the bankruptcy part. When is the best time to buy? The best time to buy was 5 years ago. The second best time is today. If you're not a homeowner yet, you've been losing out on all the appreciation, all the equity that a lot of people have been having. I believe average people have been earning about 20% equity, if I'm not mistaken, the past year. Certain areas, of course, it can be more. So definitely do what you can to get to home ownership. If you're not prepared now, get yourself prepared to get into home ownership this year. Rates are going to continue to go up. We're probably going to see 4s by the end of the year, depending how the market goes, depending how everything goes on in the economy, everything goes on in the world. A lot of things can impact it. So depending on what's going on, what do you think of the Bayonne rental market? It's amazing. Close to the city. They have what they have. I know they have the port. I think they have some cruise line next to Jersey City. That whole area. It's basically, think of a big major city with like New York City. New York City continues to blow up, has a lot of jobs, has a lot of great real estate, but they can only build so much. The price is going to continue to go up. It's going to force people to submarkets. Submarkets meaning out close to the New York City, so people can have access to the city. So everything around New York City will continue to increase over time. Bayonne's prices has continued to go up. The rents continue to go up. They have pretty good transportation. You can get into the city pretty quick. You can get to other towns in Jersey from Bayonne. I don't know if they have the train. Yeah, so they have definitely good transportation. So Bayonne's a good market. What's the best market for multifamily? That's a tough question. Just depends on your capital. Depends on what you prefer your rate of return is, your return on investment. It depends on what you're able to tolerate, because some areas may be tough and rough, good with cash flow, but not appreciation. So it depends on your strategy. but definitely urban areas closer to major markets. So if you're close to like New York City, close to something like that that has already developed, it's up no matter of time that the surrounding areas and the rate is going to keep increasing around that big market. Bayonne short-term rental market like Airbnb. So for Bayonne, I'm not too familiar, but you can definitely do a quick search. I'm familiar with Essex County area, so Newark. I have a few Airbnbs in Newark. It's close to the airport, so that's good. Bayonne is not too far from that. So, and it's close to the city. So you'll definitely attract that. So if you're close to like a train that's quick into the city, you can definitely get into that. You could do a quick search to see what's going on in the Airbnb in the Bayonne market. You can see how many listings there are. You can see if they're getting booked. You can see potential, put your address and see how much you're able to make. If it's a full apartment, shared apartment, the good thing about Airbnb, you can post rooms. So you can potentially make more on rooms in the whole apartment, but depending on your strategy, depending on the area. Typically on Airbnb, if you do it the right way, you would get more on Airbnb than you do on the long-term rentals. But you gotta understand Airbnb, understand the pictures, understand the descriptions, be a good host, have good people person. If there's any issues, respond to them in a timely manner. Because if you get bad reviews, it would hurt your listing and potential growth. Good market in New Jersey, that's development, man. That's I would say most of New Jersey is development because of what I said earlier. Based on the New York City, get a big main market, New York City, and everything around New York City is going to continue to blow up. They're continuing to fix the transportation into the city in Jersey. I believe, I don't know if there was like a 10-year plan when the old governor, I believe it's Doug Christie, he started. I don't know if that's finished yet. I know that was in the works for some time, that it's going to be more trains into the city. I believe it was some type of, what was it? Some communication against the trains, that they will allow more trains into the city. So that's huge. They continue to work on the transportation, the highways, buses. So there's a lot of good markets in Jersey. That's usual longer than my quick tip Tuesday last, so I'm gonna wrap it up here. I'll take one last question. Best areas for 3 families and 4 families in Jersey. Close to train stations, close to hospitals, close to major transportation, maybe highways, maybe not highways, close to airports. That's huge. And get ahead of the development in the area. Development in the area is public information. If there's a train line coming, if there's an Amazon coming, if there's big jobs coming, usually those areas are great. Definitely focus on those urban areas. Newark is huge. What you said, Bayonne is good. Jersey City, a lot of those areas are already developed and pretty high, but the entire Jersey City is not fully developed. So there's definitely pockets there that was rough before, and they're getting better. Same as Newark. Each city has its own rough patches. With that being said, hope you guys enjoyed this Quick Tip Tuesday. If you have any topics for next week, just let me know, and I will add it to the list. Have a great one.